to the November 19th meeting of the Records Committee. I now call this meeting to order. Please be advised that FATV is conducting an audio and video recording of this meeting for public broadcast. I ask that anyone in the audience who is recording this meeting to please identify themselves for the record now by standing and state your name and city of residence. Seeing none. At this time, I ask that all electronic devices be placed in silent mode. The members of the Records Committee in attendance are Councillor Fleming and Councillor Schultz and myself, Councillor Walsh. There will be no public comment. And I think we're going to move on to the agenda. There is one item on the agenda to review the characterization of Sam Cole's comments in the minutes of the May 2nd, 2023 City Council meeting. At this time, the comments were made in response to an agenda item, a petition filed by Councillor Sally Cragen on behalf of a number of others to allow the Rainbow Pride flag to be flown in front of City Hall during the week of Pride beginning July 22nd, 2023. Three people spoke on the agenda item. Cole was the third. His comment was at 6:47 in the recording on FATV. He followed two others who focused on the equal treatment of all flags and not just one. What he said was What he said was, I'm echoing an earlier sentiment about equal access to speech on government property. I think that if one flag can be shown, then all flags should be allowed to be shown, and that Fitchburg shouldn't be showing preferential treatment to one flag over another. I believe the Supreme Court ruled recently on preferential treatment against a flag in Boston. I think that should set a precedent for this municipality against setting preferential treatment for flags in this city. So yeah, thank you for your time. And as reflected in the minutes for that meeting, Cole's comments were recorded in opposition to the petition. The City Council meeting took place on May 2nd, 2023, which is 18 months ago. Mr. Cole approached the City Clerk's office approximately 2 months ago to say that his comments were misrepresented. After watching the FAT archived record from the May 2nd, 2023 public comment several times, I really can't say that the City Clerk misrepresented Cole's position. It seems to me that Cole was commenting in opposition to the petition, and if not, his comments were at best ambiguous and subject to being interpreted as in opposition by the City Clerk. I think it's the City Clerk's job to record what was said and not to interpret what was meant if what was said was unclear. And I would like to hear from any councillors.
Yeah, so I did go back and review that video, and I only watched his particular segment. But earlier tonight, I went back to look at the prior people that spoke, and what I'm getting from this is that he wasn't for or against. What I was hearing was that he was just looking for equal access of all flags. He wasn't opposed to putting one flag up over another, but he felt that all flags should be flown. So I didn't get that he was against it.
Councillor Schultz?
Well, I did review previously the other two people that commented. Was it 2 or 3, Beth?
Two.
It was 2, yeah. There was a Mr. Small, I think, was one of them. Pastor Small.
I don't remember the
names.
And
then there was another person, a younger person. And, I got he starts out by saying, I'm echoing an earlier sentiment. And that right there, it is pretty, it's like he's contradicting himself later on, saying it, they all should be, but I don't think it was misinterpreted by the clerk, because he starts out by saying, I agree with the other two people, and the other two people didn't want the flag to be flown. They were in opposition. So that's why it was interpreted that way by the city clerk.
And I guess the other thing is that the minutes of that meeting were verified as in order by the Records Committee. It was chaired by Councillor Boschman, and the report was approved by the entire City Council.
Yes.
On May 16th. I guess to me, it's kind of like a football game. When there's a call on the field, That's kind of the status quo, and then in order to change that call, I think there should be convincing evidence that it's different in order to change it, to go back and change the record. Otherwise, I think what we're going to do is set a precedent for people saying, well, that's not what I meant, so can you go back and change the record from, 1987? I really don't think that the comments that he made were clearly in favor. I think it was ambiguous. And so to go back and change it, I think, because somebody may have had a change of heart about what they said, I don't think it warrants a change.
And also, in the last part of his comment, he said that he was against setting preferential treatment for flags in the city. So that was, a comment that he made that certainly opened that to interpretation that he was in opposition to this particular flag.
Yeah.
But when he made the comment that he was echoing the sentiments of the previous people, he did not specify which sentiments. So that was an interpretation that we took.
But he said he was echoing the earlier sentiment.
But we didn't say which one, because what they said earlier, there was a few different things that were said by the two previous speakers.
And both of those comments were recorded as being in opposition.
I don't think that from that either.
I guess I think in order to avoid misunderstandings in the future, maybe, people should be clear, I'm speaking in favor or I'm speaking in opposition.
Which he
I
did.
mean, which he did
Or
not.
opposition.
Yeah. So I would entertain a motion.
A motion to keep the record as it is.
Do I have a second? I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed? One opposed, and 2 in favor. The motion passes. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we're adjourned.
Thank you.